Aries. Aries symbol emotions and desires can run high, temporarily clouding decision-making in spots again today, dear Aries. Blockages can frustrate and stimulate restlessness. It's not an ideal time to accomplish things cooperatively. Even so, learning that you can handle certain things on your own can be empowering. With Venus retrograde until later January, you may be dealing with temporary problems with career projects or relationships. Today, complications in your relationships come into stronger focus, but you can approach them in a new way as you perceive them from a different perspective. Keep a safe distance emotionally if needed. Socially, it's better to keep things light. While you're giving a lot of thought to your career and the path it's taking, today is about looking back and analyzing. It can be a critical time for re-evaluating your projects and goals. You're likely to gain some new information about an old matter, and while the picture may not yet be complete, you're one step closer. Taurus. Taurus symbol. There can be times when interruptions steer you off course temporarily, dear Taurus, but it's relatively easy to regain your footing today. Schedule changes may very well lead to new ideas and positive directions. Timing can be off. For example, you may be passionate about something, while others may be indifferent, or someone's trying to gain your attention, and you miss the gesture. Even though events may not unfold as planned today, very little can truly get you down today, except perhaps routine. In fact, a new perspective can see you redefining some of your beliefs, ideals, goals, and dreams this week. With Mercury and retrograde Venus heading into alignment, you might see which approaches or expectations you had in the past that sent you along the wrong path. Through conversations or musings, you can gain significant insight into mysteries from your personal history. Do consider that you're likely living in the mind and temporarily overlooking the emotional side of matters today, and avoid letting your communications run ahead of you. With Venus retrograde until late January, there is likely more to the story of your feelings and satisfaction levels, so while your assessments are valid now, things need to evolve further before you truly make sense of them. Gemini. Gemini symbol. You may want to watch for provocative commentary and impatience today, dear Gemini. It's possible that somebody close to you is insecure and acting out or bringing up uncomfortable topics. It can be challenging to arrive at an explicit agreement. Changes in plans and distractions may lead to new ideas and methods. As well, as the day advances, things lighten up. There can be a lot to do and a lot of talk. A conversation might occur with a love interest or partner, but be aware that it can quickly spiral into past patterns of conversing to the point that nothing is actually solved. Or, a conversation with a love from your past might spark up. Either way, feelings are a big theme today, and it's very past-focused. Even if things seem roundabout, it's a necessary process for illuminating where you stand and what you will take forward into the future. New and perhaps surprising insights into intimate matters can surface. You're in the position to play detective. Cancer. Cancer symbol. It can be challenging to focus on your work, passions, and projects today, dear Cancer. Distractions and interruptions can make it hard to concentrate. Friendships can bring surprises, or schedules can change. Flaws may appear in recent projects, and this is a time for making needed adjustments. Try to be patient even if you don't feel you're moving ahead fast enough. Later today, Be careful that you avoid the trap of communicating and relating in patterns that don't serve you well anymore just because they're familiar. If you stay too rooted in your old ways of approaching an issue, others might also focus on past matters that you'd prefer not to remember or review. Do your best to be open to new and improved ways of connecting so that you're learning and reviewing, not merely rehashing. Negotiations can figure strongly now, and it's a time for being fair and objective. Reconnecting with people from your past can be a strong draw for some of you now, or a secret may reveal itself. Learning new things about a previous relationship can figure strongly for others. Leo. There can be some complications with plans today, dear Leo. Loose ends may need tying, but timing can be a little off today with rebellious, unexpected, and unreliable energy in spots. It's best to allow for unforeseen changes and interruptions and stay as flexible as possible. As the day advances, you can speak up or speak out as Mercury and retrograde Venus head into alignment. You may very well see where you stand, but do be aware that underlying matters can complicate what seems to be positive communications. You might learn something surprising but valuable about the work you do or the people you work alongside. Old matters or even people have a way of resurfacing now. You have unique insight into whether your ventures, particularly those related to health or work and daily affairs, are genuinely fulfilling you. Conversations or information coming in today and this week can lead to a re-evaluation of these matters. Virgo. You could be on the fence about whether to stick with what you know or to take a risk and stick your neck out today, dear Virgo. Timing is a little off, and you might not feel in sync with others or even in touch with your true desires temporarily. Try not to let this drain you. If you're facing pressures or sudden attention when you're not ready, seek ways to build up emotional strength. Consciously pull your energy away from the minor problems that have taken too much space in your brain. Later today, conversations and thoughts tend to revolve around love, the past, and emotions, and you can be busy making sense of something. With Venus retrograde, the past is sure to be a big topic now, and this can be an illuminating time. However, you may want to avoid getting too caught up in past behaviors when interacting with familiar people. If it didn't work in the past, it's certainly not going to work now. You are well received now, even if you are a little distant and withdrawn. Personal fulfillment is a question, and it's a time for re-evaluating particular areas of your life, mainly related to creativity, hobbies, romance, and friendship. Some of you can reconnect with an old love or friend, or you may be learning something new about a previous relationship. Libra. There can be distractions or feelings of unrest in spots today, dear Libra. Plans or projects may need some tweaks. Watch for speaking too soon on a matter, your ideas may be too scattered temporarily. Still, it doesn't mean they're without value, hold on to them. Prepare for some erratic elements in your day, as there can be some tension or general restlessness in the air. Later today, conversations and thoughts quickly turn to the past or areas of emotional dissatisfaction as Mercury and retrograde Venus head into alignment. Love can be a tricky topic, even if intentions are good. You stand to gain new awareness or clues about a complicated matter. Much attention turns to unresolved relationship or comfort issues, and you're now looking at old problems from a new perspective. You're inclined to analyze and intellectualize, but it's important to note that your mind may be working much faster than your heart, and while curious, you may not be entirely ready for certain things. However, it's a fine time to analyze whether your current living conditions serve you well. Scorpio. Sudden awakenings and insights can nudge you into a new position or stance regarding independence in relationships, dear Scorpio. While the day's energies are a little chaotic in spots, changes of mind or schedule can lead to fresh new ideas and experiences. Sudden infatuations or turnarounds of feelings can occur now, yet they're likely temporary. Recent plans, particularly along business or financial lines, may seem to come apart at the seams a little today, making this a time of adjustments and edits rather than pushing ahead. Later today, you tend to do a lot of analyzing and sorting, especially with feelings and affections. You're inclined to want to make sense of past relationships. Or, you may be reviving old projects and receiving news that prompts a new perspective on a past matter. You might instead gravitate to a past project or study with renewed interest, or you could discover that a current course of study or venture is no longer fulfilling you. Conversations may revolve around satisfaction levels, love, or complicated social situations. This is an excellent time to do some redesign or review, although it may be best not to finalize things yet. Sagittarius. While not everything is likely to go as planned today, dear Sagittarius, new methods or plans can emerge that suit you better. Mistakes can be made in haste, and failures in communications can test your patience in spots today. Try your best not to rush things now, as hasty actions or words can lead to regret at a later date. As the day advances, you can find yourself particularly curious and mentally engaged. Personal finances or personal possessions and questions of ownership can become a topic today. It's time for review, not for making important decisions about your assets, but don't discard things coming to your attention now. Even if they require further thought or adjustments at a later date, this is an essential time for analysis and review. Backtracking can involve going over matters from the past, particularly surrounding love relationships and money. You might get a second chance or look at a project, purchase, or association, or possibly relocate a lost item. Capricorn. Absent-mindedness or a tendency to speak too soon can be potentially disruptive today, dear Capricorn. Even so, many of the minor problems that seem to be tripping you up now are very temporary, and in fact, can lead to adjustments that will genuinely improve your life. If you're not in touch, you could feel restless and tense. Others are taking a particular interest in you and could be talking about you quite a bit today and tomorrow. Mercury and retrograde Venus are coming to an alignment in your sign, and conversations tend to turn to you or revolve around you. While you're a little more inclined to express yourself, someone else may be holding something back or hesitant. Alternatively, conversations or meetings can turn to unresolved matters, and you can get some potent reminders of the past. New information about an old issue can figure strongly later today. While it's an excellent time for rethinking and re-evaluating personal plans and projects, it's not the time to make final decisions. It may be better to consider possibilities and keep plans open since there is likely more to the unfolding story later on. Even with some signals crossing, your magnetism runs high, although you may not be expressing as much warmth in your communications and focusing too much on the intellect. Aquarius. Today's energies are primarily friendly, dear Aquarius, but there can be some minor disruptions that throw some plans on their heads. A competitive or restless feel can easily sidetrack you, particularly if you try to juggle work and socializing. Frustrations can lead you to make small but essential changes and adjustments, however. With Mercury and Venus moving into alignment, more information could surface about a matter that will help you make better decisions about the future. However, it's best to process and digest things rather than finalize, since Venus is retrograde and will continue in this fashion until January 29. Conversations or musings can help illuminate the past in a meaningful way for you, and the focus is on love, feelings, and relating patterns. While discoveries may be about affections or satisfaction levels, your ability to detach a little from emotions is what benefits you the most for the time being. Keep in mind that your mind is moving much faster than your heart, so you may want to avoid bringing up certain topics. Pisces. There is a tendency to speak too soon or too hastily, and impatience is possible today, dear Pisces. It can be challenging to pinpoint what others want from you in spots, yet they can still seem to push your buttons. Others may be interpreting rebelliousness in your communications. If you're not careful, frustration may come out in small but disruptive ways. Be kind to yourself by detaching yourself from irritating situations. Later today, you might learn something about someone from your past, or a conversation with a friend can quickly turn to the past. You're more inclined to live in the mind, making it best to watch for talking ahead of yourself. Your heart may not be ready to talk or know about everything that piques your mind's curiosity. Today's transits can stir up a desire to make sense of certain feelings or relationships, but you may not have the whole story. It's a good time for considering whether you're getting enough pleasure from your social life or current goals and projects.